I told my family that you were from a single-parent household, and they were laughing about it. They were surprised that you had the guts to be my wife.
Huh? What do you mean by that?
My parents said that you were an interesting wife. I guess they couldn't help it. Someone from a single-parent household has no human rights.
Kent, why are you saying that? I didn't know you would say something so rude. How disappointing.
Disappointing? What the heck? Don't you get that this is funny? My parents are wealthy and they run a business. But then I'm telling you that I don't mind marrying you. You should be grateful for it. If I say that something is funny, all I'm expecting from you is to laugh. You're not gonna have any human rights.
Can you stop saying that? You need to be more respectful about it. Besides, what's wrong with you, Kent? You never looked down on me so badly. Why are you talking to me like that today?
I realized it after I spoke to my mom. You got so lucky. You should be glad that you get to marry me, or else you wouldn't have had anyone choosing you. You got chosen by an heir like me. You're so lucky.
Are you telling me that you felt that way after speaking to your parents about it?
Yeah, that's right. We have a formal marriage meeting this week, so I figured it was better if I tell them in advance that you're from a single-parent household. I told them about it, and that's what they said. They said that someone from a single-parent household has no human rights, so you'd better be ready. Mom told me to tell you, too.
Huh? Did your mother really say that? I'm surprised. I never thought anyone would actually say anything like that.
Well, you probably don't get how it works with the noble. This is how we've always been. You just have to get used to it.
I don't want to get used to something like that.
You should be glad that you get to marry a rich man like me. Well, I hope you try hard as my slave from now on.
A slave? Isn't that a big word for a joke? You're creeping me out. We started our relationship because you were persistently confessing to me. I even turned down your proposal because I felt like it was a little too early, but you still wanted to force it. And yet, you're making it sound as if I'm after your money.
Mom is worried about me. She said that women without human rights like you are typically after the money. Since I'm rich, I ended up feeling a little insecure.
You can be insecure all you want, but I'm not after your money. I don't really care about the fact that your family runs a business. I only discovered it because you told me about it. I was never interested in any of that.
I know you're just saying it, but it's fine. I'll still accept you the way you are, Amy. As long as you stay as my slave for the rest of your life. I'm sorry that you have no human rights.
Cut it out! You're upsetting me! I've known that you like to always fool around, but this is way too much. I'm starting to feel frustrated with everything you said. Make sure you talk to your family by the time we have our marriage meeting. I suggest you not be rude to us. Hey, about the marriage meeting, there's something I'm not so sure about.
What is it? Is everything okay? Is it about the store?
No, that's not what it is. It seems like Kent's parents lack understanding about single-father households, so I thought they might start saying rude things for ridiculous reasons.
What? Who would ever complain about anything like that? Did they say something to you?
Not to me directly, but I'm just worried.
You don't have to worry about anything. Amy, you want to marry Kent, right? I haven't met him yet, but I trust your decision. I'm sure he's the right man for you since you chose him.
Dad, you're overestimating me. If anything, I'm starting to doubt my own decision.
Really? Are you saying that Kent isn't a great man after all?
He's a fun person to be with, but his parents might be a bit different. I haven't met them before, so I'll be meeting them for the first time during the marriage meeting. I'm getting nervous about it, though.
I was against the idea of you marrying Kent, but I decided to prioritize your feelings. Amy, are you sure you want to marry Kent? You need to think carefully before you marry him.
I know. Don't worry. I made sure I made my decisions after thinking about it for myself all my life.
That's true. I won't be getting too nosy about it. I trust you, and that's all that matters.
Okay, I'll see you this Saturday, although I'm still unsure about this. You from? Actually, there is no such era that ever stated such a ridicule. I see.
Why are you acting as if this has nothing to do with you? Do you realize that this is your fault?
How is it my fault?
That's the only reason I can think of! It's only been 2 days since the incident, and now this is happening! I know that Mr. Morrison is behind this! The parent company said that it won't continue the business relationship with us unless my dad steps down from the CEO position! They never brought up anything like this before!
I see, but how is it my fault? Even if my father was behind that, it doesn't make it my fault, does it? You need to stop blaming others.
But Mr. Morrison is upset because of you, Amy!
No way. He's upset because of you and your family.
You don't have to be so mean to me!
You were being rude to me no matter how many times I asked you to be respectful. You're not entitled to make any demands. So you're saying that your father has to step down from being the CEO because of me? I'm sorry, but you can't blame me for that. It's not my fault to begin with. And I was hurt and insulted because of you and your terrible family. Maybe my father is upset because of that. But you don't deserve an apology from me because of that. I'm never going to apologize to you, and I don't consider it my responsibility.
Well, you have a point, but what about the marriage?
Are you talking about our marriage now? I thought you were talking about your father's company, but were we not?
We're getting married! If I don't get to inherit the company that I was going to take over, don't you think that we'll lead an unstable life after we get married? You should calm down and think about it for the sake of our future. It's not too late yet, so will you please talk to your dad about it? It's okay. No one in my family will be questioning you about it.
Wait, seriously? What are you talking about?
Huh?
You and I aren't getting married, so no matter what happens to you, I don't care about it at all. Even if you and your father end up losing your positions at work, I think it's only natural.
Natural? Why would you say that?
You looked down on others for their family situation. You said those people didn't have human rights, treating them as if they were your slaves. I don't think that's tolerable as a person who runs a business.
That was just a misunderstanding.
Even if my father wasn't Thomas Morrison. No matter who you were dealing with, you shouldn't have ever said any of those things. You should be ashamed of yourself for saying those things, rather than taking your mother's side. If you had the guts to speak up and say that she was wrong, maybe things turned out otherwise.
Amy, I'm very sorry. I was such a fool. I want us to start over again. That's all I ask for. You don't have to forgive me, so will you please give me one last chance?
No, not happening.
Why not?
I started a relationship with you because you asked. goes around comes back around. I chose to marry Kent because I wanted to earn my father's trust. But it turned out that I ended up admiring my father even more than before. I want to focus on my work for now while I try to get better at reading people.